poll question, Seton. What are we going to go with? Because we are a what have you done for me lately reactionary sports society. So feels like everybody's going, Indiana's, they're going to win this thing, right? Well, not so fast. OKC going back home. Now you're favored by 8.5, but the pressure is clearly on them because nobody thought Indiana would get this far. Here they are, and all of a sudden, that bench is formidable. And they dominated last night. Now, slow start, and then all of a sudden they got going. 48 points from the bench. Now, I was wondering, in the last 40 years, how often do you get 48 points or more from your bench in multiple games? Because in Game 3, the bench scored 49 points. They're the only team in the last 40 years to have this happen, where your bench got you 48 or more in at least 2 games in the NBA Finals. Also, 38% of their scoring came from the bench in the Finals. That's the most of any team in the last 40 years.
Woo! Ow! Stat of the day! Stat of the day! Stat of the day! Stat of the day! This is the stat of the day!
Brought to you by Panini America. I know talent wins games, but when you're going to win a title, it takes more than just a great starting five. It's a team. And a lot of times in the NBA, when you get to the finals, you get to the postseason, your rotation gets shorter and shorter. There's fewer players that you put in the rotation. And that means if you're going to sub somebody in and you're going to sub somebody out, maybe you're going 2 or 3 players deep. But with Indiana and OKC, they play a lot of players. Indiana didn't shoot the lights out. They shot 35% from deep. OKC was 8 of 30 in a potential closeout game. But now, coughing up the ball, turnovers, it felt like, I think they had 21 or 22 turnovers, felt like every one of them were in the first half. And Shai Gilgeous had a horrible game. He had 8 turnovers. Well, when you have that, you get a spark from your bench. I didn't have to lean on Tyrese Haliburton that much, although I thought he played, once he got acclimated to the game, and I think he played 23 minutes. Like, that's good. And I thought that he would be a decoy. I thought you have him there. I don't want him handling the ball as much as he normally does. TJ McConnell was great again off the bench. Although we come in today and we're talking about Indiana and how they played and who played well and Obi Toppin. And we said, hey, TJ McConnell was great again. And Seton goes, I hate TJ McConnell. I don't want him on my team. And I go, wait a minute.
I didn't say I hate TJ McConnell.
How about an I-team investigation?
I definitely said that I don't really aesthetically care for the way that he plays, and I don't want a guy like that on my team.
I think we have a direct quote. You might have said that you hate TJ McConnell. It's a sports hate. No, it's just sports hate. That's the guy you want on your team, don't you?
I think, you know what? Probably smart basketball people would say, yes, I don't want that dude anywhere. Stop trying so hard. Stop it. God.
You need those guys.
Because I kept wondering, okay, why does Seton not like TJ McConnell? He goes, he tries so hard.
He tries so hard. It's like, dude, stop.
He tries so hard.
God.
Isn't that's the goal, isn't? Don't you want your guy?
I understand how the words coming out of my mouth make very little sense, but God, the dude, he just tries so hard. Would you just stop? Drives me crazy.
You know, guys are making money right before us. Like Obi Toppin is playing himself into some money now. You know, former University of Dayton first-round pick. I don't know what TJ McConnell's contract status is, but I know one person who knows, Paulie.
TJ McConnell picked the worst time to play the series of his life. He is fully under contract for the next 4 years. Now, the good news is he's going to be making $11 million per year the next 4 years, which will double his career salary in just the next 4 years. But he is locked up. He cannot benefit from this run.
Wow.
It's just good hard work. He's just yeoman's work.
Man, that's a bummer. Obi Toppin's going to get paid. Yeah, he led him in scoring last night with 20.
That's exactly what TJ McConnell, the kind of deal he would have. Yeah, it's already team friendly and it's locked up for 4 years. I'm going to work my ass off for you every night.
I'm going to play hard.
Yeah.
I'd play for nothing. Yeah. I'd play for free. Yes, Mark.
Obi Toppin is also locked up until the 27-28 season.
Oh.
Toppin and McConnell, 4 more years.
All right. Here's Tyrese Haliburton playing through his injury.
I just look at it as, I want to be out there to compete with my brothers. These are guys that I'm willing to go to war with. And we've had such a special year, and we have a special bond as a group. And, I think I beat myself up if I didn't give it a chance, I just wanted to be out there and fight, and just had to have an honest conversation with coach that, if I didn't look like myself and, was hurting the team, like, sit me down. Like, that's obviously I want to be on the floor, but I want to win, more than anything.
All right. The run continues for him. It wasn't great. The over-under was 13.5 for his point total. He had 14. But it's just enough to be out there. Sometimes that lift that you give your team. I was watching him, even when the ball wasn't being swung his way. I just wanted to see how involved he was. And was he going to be a detriment? Love that he played. Love that he cared. And now you get a couple of days to rest before Sunday night. And OKC was trying to bring it to him, but I thought that Rick Carlisle did a great job of positioning Haliburton in a place where they couldn't really pick on him and, do pick and rolls. Plus, you didn't really have to play in the fourth quarter. That's great as well, because that was another thing. When you play, and this is an injury that if this is the regular season, he's missing games. Not singular, he's missing games. But if you're going to be out there, how long are you out there? Because I don't want you sitting down and then going back in, sitting down and going back in. Trying to stay loose, I thought that was really important. But that crowd energized them. They played great defense, and now it goes back to Oklahoma City. OKC, they might look back on this Game 6 and go, we no-showed. Like, what happened? Close them out. You've been favored, big favorites every single game. And you're now a big favorite at home by 8.5. Here's Shai Gilgeous-Alexander on the dud they laid last night.
The way I see it is we suck tonight. We have to learn the lessons. And we have one game for everything we've worked for. And so do they. And the better team Sunday will win.
Okay. Yeah. But it certainly feels like momentum's on the Pacers' side, and you got OKC going back. We're supposed to win. We're at home. And sometimes, that's why it's so hard to win that fourth game. Now, we normally don't go to Game 7. I think this is the first time since 2016. Most teams close you out. They don't want to get to that Game 7. And, man, that fourth win in a 7-game series is so tough to come by. And we saw that last night. All right, so you got a poll question based off last night there, Seton, on who do you like now going into Game 7?
Well, yeah. I think we'll look at last night's loss was how big was last night's loss? No big deal, or something they will regret forever, I believe is the wording Paul used.
Well, if you win on Sunday night, nobody remembers Game 6. If you lose on Sunday night, they'll remember Game 6.